So most people moving to Kenosha spend months focused on the house, the square footage, the finishes, the price per foot. And those things matter. They really, really do. But I want to tell you something that I have seen over and over in this market. I've had buyers who found the perfect house, great bones, great price, every single thing on their list. They bought it, and then 2 years later they were calling me because the neighborhood just did not work for their family. And I've had other buyers who compromised on the house, smaller than what they wanted, not quite everything that they were looking for, but the neighborhood, exactly right. Those people, they never look back. That's what this video is about. I'm going to walk you through the 5 most desirable neighborhoods in Kenosha County right now. And I'm going to tell you, honestly, who each one is actually for, so that you can make the right call for your own situation. So I'm Chad Scott. Aalia and I are with eXp Realty. We are local real estate agents here in Kenosha, and we help buyers, sellers, and families relocating from Illinois or across the country navigate this market every single day, just like you. So a quick thing before we get into it. I put together a free Kenosha neighborhood map. It shows you exactly where each of these areas sits and what the price ranges look like and what makes each one of these different from the other. The link is down in the description below. Go ahead and grab that for yourself. So here's how I want to break this down for you. I'm not going to just read from a list. That's boring. What I want to do is tell you who each neighborhood is actually for. Because the right neighborhood for a family of 5 with 3 kids in travel sports is not the same neighborhood that works for a couple who wants to walk to dinner on a Friday night. We're going to be covering Pleasant Prairie, Summers, Forest Park, Allendale, and downtown Kenosha. And at the end, I'm going to give you a quick framework for how to figure out which one fits your situation specifically. Number 1 is Pleasant Prairie, and this is the one that constantly tops the list of move-up buyers in the $500,000 to $700,000 price range. Now here's why. Pleasant Prairie is technically its own village, separate from Kenosha. And what that means for you is a different tax structure. Some of the best rated schools in KUSD, and a neighborhood that generally feels more like a premium suburb rather than a city. You've got Uline right here, one of the largest employers in the state. Amazon and Eli Lilly are just down the road. If you or your partner are coming here for work, your commute could be almost nothing. New construction is still active in Pleasant Prairie. We've got a ton of it. So if you want something that has never been lived in, newer build, larger lot, that community feel where neighbors are actually know each other, you can definitely find it here. Now the trade-off is price. Entry point in Pleasant Prairie right now is north of $400,000 for anything decent. The 4 and 5 bedroom move-up range is ranging $600,000 to $700,000 and above. So some of the features in Pleasant Prairie, the price range is about $400,000 to $700,000. It's best for move-up families. You're close to employers. You have a lot of new construction here in the village. We have a lot of employers here in the area. The schools, some of the highest rated schools here in KSD feed into Pleasant Prairie. We have some of the highest rated communities here in Pleasant Prairie as opposed to Kenosha and Summers. Your commute to Chicago, if you want to live here in Wisconsin and commute to Chicago, Pleasant Prairie makes that super easy with easy access to I-94 or 41. And then you also have the Metro train station downtown Kenosha, which is not very far from Pleasant Prairie. We have new employers constantly coming here into the village and the Kenosha surrounding area all the time. And just the vibe of Pleasant Prairie. If you like a smaller city, Pleasant Prairie is not very big. There's only, I think, 30,000 people that live in the village. So it's not a very big village. It's still pretty spread out. Lots of land here in the village, and they're always growing, adding more employers, adding more subdivisions. It's kind of like a premium suburb with newer builds, and it's very community oriented. So the bottom line on Pleasant Prairie, if your budget is there and schools and long-term value are at the top of your priorities, this is probably your top play. The number 2 is Summers, and this one is for a very specific buyer. The buyer who has slightly outgrown the idea of a traditional neighborhood altogether. Summers is a township just northwest of Kenosha proper. The lots are a little bit bigger, the properties are more spread out, you get that semi-rural feel, space between you and your neighbors, more land, sometimes outbuildings, but you are still 20 minutes from pretty much everything. I talked to a lot of families moving from the Chicago suburbs who specifically say that they want to get out of that cul-de-sac every 50 feet feel. They want their kids to have room to actually run around. Well, Summers definitely delivers that in most neighborhoods. Price points run in that $350,000 to $600,000 price point, depending on lot size and how updated the home is. New construction is active here too. There are developments in Summers right now, giving you that modern build on a larger lot. That combination is generally pretty hard to find anywhere near that Chicago area. Now, one thing that I always tell buyers considering Summers is that you need to know your commute. If you are I-94 bound, totally fine. If you're going downtown Kenosha every day, budget an extra 10 minutes into your morning. So some features of Summers. Summers, the price range, like I said, is about that $350,000 to $600,000 price range. It's best for families that want a little more space, that semi-rural feel, larger lots. You generally have larger lots in the city of Kenosha. A lot of lots in Summers are half acre plus. You do have some newer construction in Summers, not a lot, but some newer construction. There are several active newer developments in Summers. Commute, if you do need to commute from Summers, I-94 is right there. But downtown Kenosha is a good 10, 15 minutes, maybe even 20 minutes from some areas of Summers. So you have to budget that into your time. Summers does have a lot more open space, and it is a growing village still. So if you're looking for that, then Summers is a viable option for you for sure. So Summers is the neighborhood that I point people to when they feel like they want to have room to breathe. If that's on your list, this is definitely where you want to start your search at. So number 3 is Forest Park. And this one is really interesting because it constantly shows up in search. People are actively Googling and ChatGPTing Forest Park, Kenosha, and that tells me there is something about this neighborhood that's already on people's radar before they even call me. Forest Park is an established neighborhood on the south side of Kenosha. Mature trees, well-kept streets, a mix of older homes that have been beautifully updated for the most part, alongside newish infill construction. You're close to the interstate, close to the lake, and you have access to pretty much everything without being in the middle of everything. It's a good mix of a little bit of everything here in Kenosha. So the appeal here is the livability. This is the neighborhood where people actually walk their dogs in the morning, where kids are actually outside in the summer. It has a community feel that is really hard to manufacture in a newer development. The price range is $350,000 to $550,000, and here's what that actually means for you. You're typically getting more square footage per dollar than you would in Pleasant Prairie. In a lot of cases, a more interesting home. It's not a cookie cutter home. If you appreciate character and craftsmanship, then Forest Park is worth a serious look. These homes are all typically a little bit different, and they're not like a newer subdivision home where the houses all look pretty similar and all have similar floor plans. So some of the features of Forest Park is the price range is a $350,000 to $550,000 home price range. They want an older, more established neighborhood. It feels more homey, I guess you could say, almost. A mix of updated homes and older homes where you can update yourself still, and still a mix of new construction houses as well. There's a few new construction houses mixed in Forest Park too. But there's no cookie cutter homes. You're not going to find very many cookie cutter homes like you would in new construction neighborhoods. It's in the south side of Kenosha, but it's kind of centrally located in the middle of Kenosha still. You have I-94 access, and you're close to Lake Michigan still. You get good value for your dollar in Forest Park. It's a very walkable community. It's very walkable and community oriented. You have a lot of block parties there during the summer. Forest Park is one of those neighborhoods where buyers walk in planning to just look around and end up putting in an offer on the same day. Number 4 in this price point is Allendale. This one is for buyers who want lifestyle above almost anything else. Allendale is in a position that very few neighborhoods in this county can claim. Lakefront proximity, walkability, and historic charm, and a price point that is still within reach for very serious move-up buyers. You're looking at a $400,000 to $650,000 for most of what is available in the Allendale area. Now here's what I mean when I say lifestyle. On a Saturday morning in Allendale, you can walk to get coffee, walk to the lake, and be back before noon without even touching your car. That is generally rare in this price point, anywhere in the Chicago metro region. And that's the comparison that I always make to buyers coming from Illinois. You would not get this combination for anywhere near this price in Lake County. Not even close. The homes in Allendale have character. A lot of the architecture reflects when this area was first developed. That craftsman and traditional style has held up beautifully. For the buyer who wants to be in a home that actually tells a story, this is what drives most buyers to buy in this area. So let's talk about features. So in Allendale, most homes listed in this area are priced between $400,000 and $650,000. It's best for buyers that want that lifestyle. They want to be close to the lake, they want that walkability, and they're looking for those homes that have that architectural style, that historic charm. They're looking for a craftsman home, a traditional home, a home that has character, and definitely not a cookie cutter home. High walkability rates, homes where you can walk and get your coffee, homes that have easy lake access, homes that have small downtown shops within easy walking distance to their home. They want a home that has a very strong direct neighborhood connections. Allendale has a very strong neighborhood connection vibe to it. People know their neighbors, people talk to the neighbors, people go outside and enjoy their neighbors, have neighborhood parties all the time. One more thing on Allendale, inventory there is tight. When something does come up, it moves really fast. If this sounds like your neighborhood, then you need to be ready to act. So number 5 is downtown Kenosha and the HarborPark area. And I will say this up front, this one is different from the other 4. It is also the one that most people coming from the outside of the Kenosha area underestimate the most. So downtown Kenosha right now is in the middle of a $450 million redevelopment. That is not a rumor or a talking point. That is a 9-block transformation, adding over 1,100 residential units and a 200-room hotel, 400,000 square feet of office space, a public market hall, and a lakefront park. It's huge. The first building, the Carrick, a 158-unit luxury apartment complex, opened this past January. So what this means for you as a buyer is pretty straightforward. If you are buying near downtown Kenosha today, you're getting ahead of the transformation. Property values in the surrounding blocks are going to move. That's not me selling you on anything. That's just how development works. So who's this neighborhood for? The buyer who wants the most walkable, urban Kenosha experience. Lake Michigan views, access to restaurants, the farmers market of course, the waterfront, and a price point right now of about $350,000 to $500,000 for condos and townhomes. That reflects where the neighborhood is today, not where it's headed. So some features of the downtown area, prices between that $350,000 and $500,000 price range, mostly for the condos that are right directly downtown. I will include some single family houses that are like on the outskirts of downtown as well in that price range. It's best for like urban lifestyle buyers that you want to be directly in the downtown area. You don't want, especially if you have a job downtown, then you definitely don't need a car. Or maybe you work on like the bus line, you can just take the bus everywhere. If you want a place that you know is going to appreciate because of the $450 million redevelopment downtown, those places are going to definitely appreciate in the coming years. You like the walkability, being able to walk to the local shops and restaurants. You want direct access to the waterfront. If you just like being downtown in the center of all the action, that's where all the action happens. Whenever Kenosha does anything big, any big social events, any big festivals, the 4th of July event is always downtown. The farmers market's downtown. All the big parades are all downtown. So if you like being in the middle of everything, you don't want to have to find parking or anything like that, then those condos downtown are the perfect place for you. So look, if you're buying near downtown Kenosha today, you're getting ahead of the transformation. That's not me selling to you on anything. That's just how development works. Okay, so you've seen all 5. Here's how I would actually help you decide. If your top priority is schools and a premium suburb feel, Pleasant Prairie. If you want space, land, and a semi-rural feel with easy highway access, Summers. If you want an established, livable neighborhood with character and a strong value per dollar, Forest Park. If lifestyle, lake access are at the top of your list, then Allendale. And finally, if you want to be in the most dynamic, fastest changing part of Kenosha, and you're thinking about equity as much as lifestyle, then downtown and HarborPark are definitely what you should pick. And here's what I will also say. The right neighborhood is not always a neighborhood that ranked the highest on someone else's list. It's the one that matches your commute, your family situation, and your budget. And what makes you feel good about where you live every single day. That's what I help people figure out. Not just which house, but which neighborhood. Because one wrong call there, that affects everything else. So if any of this is hitting home for you, or if you're actually thinking about buying here in the Kenosha County area, whether you're moving from Illinois or moving out from within the current market, the best next step is just a conversation. No pressure, no obligation. Just reach out, tell me what you're looking for, and we'll figure out the rest together. If any of these neighborhoods make sense for you, or maybe it's just a different neighborhood altogether, my number and email are below in the description of this video. Or you can reach out to chadscottrealty.com and reach out to me directly there. If this was helpful, hit that subscribe button. I put out videos like this every single week on the Kenosha market. Make sure that you check out this video next about why you shouldn't move to Kenosha. And I can't wait to see you on the next video.